Once you get your melodies created, the next thing we're going to do is turn our attention to the tracks that have the harmony or the chord progressions in them. This is actually a student's project that was turned in, and let's listen to the melody first. I really like the melody because they actually didn't use very many notes, and it sounds like this. Very nice, simple melody. But now I want to turn my attention to the harmony. So let's listen to this together. So the harmony here is not particularly interesting. We're going to try to create some interest by putting some rhythmic activity into our harmony. So let's double click on the region to pull up the piano roll. And the first thing we're going to do is, just like we did with the melody, we're going to take these chords and we're going to shrink them down into eighth note pieces and then duplicate those pieces. So I'm going to click and drag over all the notes. Put my cursor on the edge of this one. We're going to shrink that down. Then I'm going to use my Option key to copy and paste. Click and drag to select everything. Option, click, drag, drop. And I'm going to be really careful to make sure when I'm dragging, I put it exactly where I want it before I drop it. I'm going to click and drag to select all this again. And then I'm going to use my Option key to copy and paste. And I have one little extra note that's snuck in. I'm just going to click on that and delete. Okay, so now our harmony track sounds like this. Okay, so now we went from boring to just obnoxious. So what I want to do is use rhythm to create a little more interest in the harmony part. Now, with harmony, we want to maintain these stacks of notes or chords. So to create the rhythmic interest, when I delete, I'm actually going to delete entire columns of notes. So for example, I could delete, say, that column. I'm going to come delete this one and this one. And then, so if you listen to it, I've now created a rhythmic pattern. And if I duplicate that same pattern across each of the bars, and again, I'm clicking and dragging across an entire chord or column of notes and deleting. So now my harmony track sounds like this. Okay, so that's more interesting than just the long whole notes in each bar, and certainly not as obnoxious as all those repeating notes. But I still am not sure that it sort of fits this melody that I have up here. So if you don't like a pattern that you create, just use your Command Z or your undo arrow to undo it. And I think what I'm going to do is delete 2 columns. And then I'm going to change the duration of this note to make it last longer. And then, because remember, in this piano roll, all these little dots and dashes are just pieces of data. So, we can delete, we can manipulate those pieces just by using these sort of step entry click and drag. All right, so let me listen to what we have now. Now it sounds like this. Okay. Now I'm going to put it with my melody and see how they fit together. And there you have it. So now I've created a melody, and then I've come back to the harmony track and I've created a more interesting harmonic track by adding some rhythmic interest. So once you complete this for your first melody and progression, then use your solo buttons to go do the same thing for the other two progressions and melodies. I would encourage you to, experiment, like try different rhythms, try changing the lengths of some notes to fill in gaps. So just experiment. That's the thing about creating music. So try out some different things, and I hope you come up with something that you really like. I can't wait to hear it.